Good afternoon and welcome to Ascension St. Vincent Field on the campus of Marian University. We have a top 25 matchup on the women's soccer side today. It's the home team, the number 6 Marian Knights, undefeated 5-0 on the year, taking on the number 22 Northwestern Ohio Racers, who come in with an overall record of 2-1. My name is Rick Johnson, joined by the former IUPUI goalie Kristen Hazley, here for your coverage today of women's college soccer on the ISC Sports Network. And Kristen, another year and another top 10 ranking for the Marian women's soccer program.
You're straight on there. We are in for a good match tonight. I mean, you talk about a Marian team that is already clicking on all cylinders, talking about 10 different goal scorers this early in the season, averaging almost 9 corners a game. So this is going to be a fun one. They
have outscored their opponents. Marian has 15-3, and you all look at top to the former Indiana State Sycamore, Katie Koger, the first-team All-Crossroads League pick a year ago, 3 goals on the year. She's also scored on 2 PKs as well, but you mentioned 10 different goal scorers. Marian can score from anywhere on the field.
You're exactly right. You know, we don't want to do a disservice to the Knights and leave anyone out, but you're right. Katie Koger coming back with some firepower. We saw Olivia Palmer last year. We've seen Kylie Jones put a few in goal, and honestly, this is just a team that's returning with a lot of the same core.
On the other side for Northwestern Ohio, they defeated St. Thomas out of Florida in a neutral site match earlier this week. The big story for them, though, is their starting goalkeeper out of Germany, Sophia Eisner, took a red card in the 61st minute in that match. They had to move the English defender Kira Ferns into goal, and all she did was turned away all 4 shots that she faced to help lead the race to that 2-1 win. So Ferns gets the start in goal today for Northwestern Ohio. You take one of your starting defenders off and put her in the goal. How does that change things for UNOH?
I mean, for UNOH, you've still got her in goal now, obviously, due to the red card. But I think as a team, it shows a lot about them, right? They're resilient. It doesn't matter who's on the field. They're going to find a way to get it done. That was a come-from-behind win with 10 players on the field. So you can't overlook this UNOH team.
The Racers 2-1 out of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Their only loss is to another Crossroads League team. That is now number 11, Indiana Wesleyan. They fell 1-0 to the Wildcats earlier this year. Last year, the Racers fell to Campbellsville in the second round of the NAI National Championship. They're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of their national title back in 2016. That team will actually be inducted into the UNOH Athletics Hall of Fame coming up later this fall. Marian last year made the round of 16, falling in heartbreaking fashion to number 5 seed College of Idaho 3-2. The Knights last year, under the direction of Justin Sullivan, went 17-4-2. They made their 6th straight trip to the NAI National Tournament, but it was their first time getting to the final site in the last 2 years, where for a while there, it was like you just booked Marian to that final site right when the season started.
Absolutely, and, you know, credit to Justin Sullivan. You know, not his first year at the helm. He was around back in that 2016 timeframe. He knows how this championship program is run, and he aspires to do that every single season. And like you said, they got pretty deep in there last year. They're looking to repeat again this year.
Got to look at Lily Ames, the starting keeper today for Marian. She's a junior out of Romeo, Michigan. She's allowed just 3 goals this season and a goals against average of below .7. She was kind of trading off last year with the starting keeper spot. When we talked to Coach Sullivan this week, Kristen, he mentioned one of the people he pointed out was Ames, saying she took a stranglehold on the starting keeper spot. What does that do for your ball club, knowing that you've got this? You know who's going to be starting in goal for you every match.
Yeah, it's so much, right? It's physical, it's mental. Who is going to be that back defender that is solidly there to communicate, to direct, to get everyone in the correct shape? And when you have consistency at the position, it just puts your whole team at ease.
And oh, by the way, Ames, all she did last year in her 6 starts, she went 5-0-1 and had shutouts in all 5 wins. Not too shabby.
Yeah, it's not a bad problem to have 2 starting keepers with, you know, game experience. So they're not hurting in that department. And, you know, it's a good thing for this team and Justin Sullivan that they have 2 keepers constantly competing for that position.
Marian defeated number 19 Cumberland on Sunday, their last time out, 2-1. Cumberland scored first in just the 3rd minute of that match. Then it was Marian tying in the 28th minute. Then they took the lead 2 minutes later after that, thanks to a Sammy King tally, her first of the year. Northwestern still has not yet played a home match this year. Marian playing their second home match here of 2025 as Aaron Kelly operates just inside midfield. Marian in the home whites today, Northwestern Ohio in the road black. Ball played to the far side off the right foot of Parmer. And then Marian lays it back. And now as Northwestern Ohio tried to take it out of their defensive end, the Knights do a good job of holding it in.
Yeah, we talked pregame about what are going to be the keys here for Marian to go ahead and take control of this match. And one of them we just saw there, controlling the possession and the pace of the game. You know, you look at the amount of firepower they've had in those first 5 games. They're resting their laurels on getting that ball forward, getting opportunities, whether it's corners, restarts. They want to put that pressure on.
Restart there from Kira Ferns. As we mentioned, sophomore defender normally had to jump into the goal last week or on Monday night because of the red card to Eisner, and she gets the start here today. This is Aaron Kelly, sophomore out of Libertyville, Illinois. Long pass forward to Katie Koger, all first-team Crossroads League a year ago. She transferred in back in 2023, was the Offensive Player of the Year and the newcomer of the league. And that's saying something when you get 5 or 6 teams from the Crossroads League that make the national tournament every year.
You say that as well, but you've also got a lot of transfers coming into these NAIA schools, whether it be from the Division I level, the Division II level, a graduate transfer. You know, Marian has this ability, being located in Indianapolis, to really recruit some great soccer talent to the NAIA level.
Parmer, the intended target. She lets it go out of bounds. As Sienna Mullins, sophomore out of Fishers, Indiana, she scored the first tying goal on Sunday, or the first goal to tie it on Sunday against Cumberland. I'll go out off of Marian, and that sets up a Northwestern Ohio throw-in. The Racers, the preseason pick to win the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference after finishing in 2nd place a year ago to Aquinas, who won both the regular season and the tournament titles a year ago.
Top NAIA talent for sure. You mentioned it. I mean, anytime we get a top 25 matchup this early in the season, it's going to teach you a lot, show you a lot about both teams.
We mentioned the strong Crossroads League for Marian that they play in for a long time. Spring Arbor were the queens of the Crossroads League, and then kind of out of nowhere you get Marian, Indiana Wesleyan, Grace is put up there, Taylor University's been in there for a while. Like you said, 5 or 6 teams. No surprise to see the Crossroads League put there for the national tournament. So big non-conference matchup for Marian before they get ready for Crossroads League play. And a long shot goes off the pipe for Olivia Parmer from distance. That was a beautiful goal, or a beautiful shot, just tailed away a little bit at the last moment.
Yeah, and you love to see it. All started with the left back, Aaron Kelly, carrying that ball up through the midfield, playing directly to Parmer. She takes a great touch and has just almost a look at that backside net. Just puts it a little wide.
Cece Kostick with the ball at her feet. Marian Coroselma comes in and scoops it up for the Knights, 5-foot senior out of Mexico.
Yeah, Coroselma, again, another returning piece that is massive for the Knights. She sits in that central holding mid position and really connects every single line. She's got the vision to play short. She's got the awareness to play on when it is long. She's really that conductor in the middle of the field.
First team All-Crossroads pick a season ago. Also tallied 5 goals. You don't see a lot of scoring from your holding mids, but always good to know that she's got that in her back pocket if the opportunity arises.
Yeah, I think one of the words probably most coaches, not only here at Marian, but in the conference would use to describe her is clean. She's technical. She's like almost cheeky, excuse me for using the British, but like she's dangerous anywhere.
First time UNOH has taken it deep into their attacking third. He's going to replay. Here's another look at that shot from Parmer.
Yeah, great cut back to her preferred right foot. Gets a shot off, and you see just trying to get a little bit of a bend, and she tucks that in. A great first look from Parmer, though.
Ferns, it looked like she either thought it was going to go into the goal or maybe go wide. It looks like it might have caught her off guard a little bit, then hit it square right in the middle of the post.
Yeah, I've been victim to those a couple times. It's one of those, I'm not going to get there. Let's hope it hits the post.
And then it get dangerous because you look back and you go, I hope nobody else from Marian is right there to kind of get a quick little tap in, right?
Exactly. And, we're always trying to push it wide, but there's those that you just get frozen, and that's the kind of strike that'll do it.
Goal kick upcoming here for the Knights with their keeper, Lily Ames. As you mentioned, they only allowed 1 goal a year ago. That was to then number 1 Cumberland's in a non-conference match back in August. Selma connecting, lays it off back to Kylie Jones. Kelly the outside back, left foot's one forward. Kylie Conrad knocks it down with a couple of racers ready to pounce. She wanted to connect with Palmer once again, but they didn't have enough on it to make that long pass work.
Yeah, and I like the idea to look direct first, right? Because so far that's been on. It's going to get to the point where you almost have to move it around a few times and then get forward. You can't be too predictable.
Catalan Keck thought she had the throw and said she's overruled, and Marian with a quick restart here at the bottom of your screen. Again, trying to work it to Palmer, one of the top point producers for Marian this year with 8 points, 2 goals, and 4 helpers. Catalan Keck heaves it in. The Racers led by third-year head coach Alicia Fry. Marian in his 5th season, Justin Sullivan as the boss, his 8th season overall after being an assistant and one of the top assistants for a while. Get a look at that hard challenge there for Kylie Conrad.
Yeah, that's going to get you every time. You know, players got her back to the ball. That deep in the field, you really don't need to be giving that away, but that's all right. They'll get behind, they'll reset. On to the next.
About 8 minutes in here to the first half, just the lone shot so far, and that was from Palmer off of the post for Marian. Not a deep roster from a sheer number standpoint for Northwestern Ohio. That roster, Kristen, gets even tighter now that you move Ferns from her normal defender spot into the goal, so you lose one of your players in the field. How does that kind of change things from a substitution standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to manage as a coach, right? You're trying to look at folks that might not play in positions they're usually used to, and so that can always make it difficult.
Cross from the Knights, nobody home on the backside, flicking it out of play, Catalan Keck. But it went off of her last, and there will be the first corner of the afternoon, and as Kristen mentioned off the top, corner kicks lean heavily in the favor of Marian. This will be their 45th corner to just 3 for their opponents through the first now 5+ matches of the year.
Again, this early in the season, you might be playing with, a couple different corner set pieces here. They play short and quick there. Didn't quite catch them off guard, going for the goal kick there, but that's something I think we'll see a couple different variations of throughout the game. It's something that Marian has always been good at taking advantage of, and especially when you look at Palmer's counterpart there, Kylie Conrad. Tall, strong in the air, great target for corners.
Conrad and Palmer both 5'7", as Palmer takes it away here. She rang it off the post earlier, couldn't get that last step around Judy McIntosh, and the Racers will try to counter up the far side. Beautiful day for the early part of September. Wind blowing from left to right as you look at it on your screen. So Marian going into the wind here in the first half. And right as I say that, the wind changes. On cue, like clockwork. The wind has picked up from what we had during our men's match earlier today to start our day off. Marian throw from the far side with Cora Selma. Palmer out of a scrum, turned it over as Grosson able to intercept for UNOH. Melby dumps it off to Catalan Keck. Her pass intercepted by Erin Kelly, the outside back, carrying it forward here for number 6 Marian. Kelly stopping and starting with Catalan Keck as they get tied up.
Good read by Kelly there to step forward, win that ball. I like the idea there from UNOH, though, trying to get Katie West wide and find her out wide. That's, there's not a lot of places in this Marian defense that are weak with the experienced back line they have, but wide is always going to be the easiest path of resistance.
Foul on Northwestern Ohio sets up Kylie Jones for the Marian free kick. Dumps it off to the midfielder, Cora Selma. As Marian trying to change the point of attack here as they give it back to Jones on the near side. Looks like a slightly awkward first touch there from Treadway. That kind of forced Marian to kind of rethink how they wanted to attack here.
Yeah, and you're expecting that. I mean, Treadway, one of the only freshmen out there, gonna take a few minutes, get used to the level, get used to the field, all of that, but she's doing a great job.
2 goals off 11 shots in her first 5 matches as a collegiate, making her 4th start of the year as well. And that's saying something. We have such experience coming back from Marian. You have a freshman pop in there and getting your starting 11, pretty big for her future.
Oh, yeah, and you love to see that. I mean, we talked about the transfers in, that sort of thing. Marian has an excellent recruiting footprint just here in the Indianapolis area as well, not only Midwest, but to see a freshman commit to an NAI program, it's a massive step because I'm sure there were other offers.
Mullen, edge of the box towards the middle, played a little bit behind. Koger played in, bounced around, and then diving on it is Ferns for her first save of the day.
Yeah, settled right at Parmer's feet. If she picked a corner either way, I think she's good there, but definitely was not expecting it. Wants to get the shot off soon, and that's where the patience has to settle in for Marian. You see it around the outside of the 18 when they get inside the 18. Can you be composed and find a good shot?
So UNOH still looking for that first shot here of the afternoon. Marian has already ramped it up for a couple here on the day and just put their first one on frame.
Right, like we talked about in the beginning of the game, though, one of the traits of this UNOH team is they are resilient, right? You can keep possession for 98% of the game and not score. If they get it for 2% and score, they win. So you know what? You cannot rest here. As much as the possession as Marian wants to keep, that's their game plan, just like UNOH is going to look for those counterattacks.
Kelly played it through, one at Koger. Was off its target, and then West turns away with it for the Racers. Risa Nishida comes back to get it for UNOH. Here's Vivian Permanent. Pass through the far side. Nishida trying to track this one down, but she's offside. First flag in the air today.
Yeah, it must have been tight. We're a little bit more towards the center, and she looks pretty close there, so it was probably right on the timing. You know what? You're going to get used to that. Marian does a good job of playing that flat back 4. It's just something the forwards are going to have to be aware of on the UNOH side.
As a defender with that flat back 4, what's kind of the communication like between those 4? They've played so much together; it's probably like second nature at this point. But how do you communicate that, knowing, hey, we can get her offside here by maybe just as a group taking a step forward, but you have to time it right, obviously.
Exactly, and you're spot on. Playing together is the best that experience, which is why this back line is playing as well as it has so far. But what the main thing is, it's that communication from the center back to the outside, because the center backs are going to be the ones making the call if we're stepping or if we're stepping back and keeping them on. Now, the danger is you play that, your center back steps up. If any of your outside defenders are not paying attention, you're leaving the middle wide open. So then the keeper comes in as that second line, and if I see someone not there, then I'm on them too. So it's a 3-way system.
Palmer shoved off her path, and Mullen set to throw it in here for Marian. She had a goal in Sunday's victory at Cumberland, the 19th ranked team in the country. Dangerous chance, blocked away on the attempt from Kylie Conrad. Permanent double teamed. Last one off of Marian, and so the Racers have a throw in front of their own bench.
It's a good step there. It's a good place in the field to win a ball out of bounds, right? You don't mind giving the ball out there. You're stopping the counterattack, allowing your backs to get back in shape. And if you're UNOH, you can transition from that defensive into your offensive shape.
Sammy King draws the foul for Marian. It's taken down there by Permanent.
Yeah, I saw the replay there, just going through her body and the legs, middle of the field. It's going to be a free kick.
Knights with the advantage, 2-0 shots here so far. Again, one off the post and one stopped by Ferns, the converted defender, starting her first match of the season today. Right flank for Marian, trying to get to the end line and cross. They did, but a last-second slide tackle by Jenny Grosson of Switzerland knocks it out of play, but another corner upcoming here for the Knights.
The smartest play on that little build-up there was Olivia Palmer not touching the ball, but realizing she's offsides when that ball is played. She dropped back, right? So they're not going to call her off as the ball goes wide. Recycles herself in, almost gets the cross in the corner there. But biggest thing is she doesn't go for the ball and play herself offsides, losing it.
Marian trying to hold the corner in, but flag is in the air, and it give the ball back to UNOH here on a free kick deep in their defensive end.
Must have been something small, nothing obvious there we could point out to you, but I think the lineman, the AR, called it, so I'm guessing it was probably somewhere away from the ball off play there.
So Fern's got to come all the way out and then pull this one back in. Again, the converted defender, starting as their normal defender spot, was on the field last week when the normal starting keeper, Sophia Eisner, who's been great. She only allowed 2 goals all season for Uno, but then draws that red card in the 61st minute, and then it's kind of scramble mode and trying to figure things out with Alicia Fry, the third-year head coach.
Yeah, and, we mentioned they've got a couple other keepers on the roster. We're obviously not sure. It could be injury, could be other eligibility issues, but if that's your best option, you mentioned it, you've got to take a midfielder out. Next woman up has got to stand up, fill in that position, whether it's, you're an outside defender and all of a sudden you're playing midfield. It's time to adapt and time to do it.
And Ferns wasn't a slouch. Took 4 shots on goal, stopped all 4 of them to help take UNOH across the finish line for that 2-1 win against St. Thomas.
She did well enough to win the job back.
Yeah, yeah. She gets a second act here today against the 6th-ranked team in the country that comes in one of the top 5 teams in the country when it comes to scoring goals. As we mentioned, 15 goals on the year. That's tied for 3rd most in the country at the NAI level. So you're going against a team that averages 3 goals per game through the first 5 matches here of the year.
And they're not playing any. It's not Alabama versus Northwest Mississippi State. The opening. They're playing some good competition here, and throughout the year in the conference, they continue to play some of the best competition in NAIA. What it's going to come down to for the Marian Knights this season is going to be peaking at the right time and being healthy, because we've talked about it. They've got the returners. They've got the offensive firepower. The communication so far has seemed to be there in the back line. It's just going to be a matter of peaking at the right time and doing the things you need to do.
And there are no breaks in that 9-match Crossroads League schedule. You're almost playing you're pretty much playing a national tournament team every week in that 9-game conference season.
Yep, and then you get the conference tournament, and then you're in the actual tournament. I mean, it's, so that's why it is. Good save there, good hands. That's why it is important to be playing your best soccer towards that tournament time.
Kalima Rico out of Columbia with the long-range shot. That's the first one of the day for Northwestern Ohio as Ames able to make that 2-handed snare.
Yeah, she looked really solid there, shuffled her feet, body behind the ball. No bobble. She looks confident.
So the first good look at a scoring chance today for Northwestern Ohio. They've been playing a lot of defense here through our first almost opening 20 minutes. Back to Ames. Coruscant, the holding midfielder, comes all the way back almost to the final third of the field. Try to help connect things here and try to keep it going for Marian as they build from the back.
Yeah, and they are very patient in the build. They are, like you said, going back all the way to the keeper even, not even potentially even looking forward at first. Head coach Justin Sullivan was talking about how that's one of their strengths, their patience in the attack. If you're the other team, though, you have to have equal amount of patience. You cannot chase. You will wear yourself out. You have to be patient and wait for Marian to make mistakes to turn it over and counterattack.
You have to also it sounds like you're also saying you don't want to be lulled to sleep by their patience, because then they kind of hit the gas, and then they're looking at the back of a number going, oh no, this is a problem.
And that's the game plan, right? Marian's going to possess and move, and then right when you think they're going to go back again, they find someone forward, right? So yeah, you're exactly spot on, and part of that is the patience, but it's letting the play develop as well. With all the offensive pieces they have, the creative runs that are made, they almost just have to wait for their pick of the ball.
Kelly turns it over. Rico comes back to intercept. Nishida tried to take it forward, but then Cora Selma takes it back for Marian. She plays it forward to Parmer. Parmer onside. One touch around, nobody home. She shoots and she scores. Ferns came out way too far, and Parmer made her pay with her 3rd goal of the year.
Well done by the Marian Knights there, breaking the 0-0 tie. Parmer gets a ball through. It looked tight. She was definitely behind that center defender, but I think one of the outsides kept her on there. Great timing. Beautiful touch with the right foot. Confident, just tucks it in with the left, no doubt.
Comes in the 21st minute as Palmer scores her 3rd goal of the year. And Kristen, you mentioned it, right when you're not ready for it, that's when Marian shoots the gap right up the middle. That's exactly what Palmer did. Beautiful touch to get to that left foot, and this time she had a lot of wide open space. Didn't have to worry about either of those posts on either side like she did for shot number 1.
Yeah, Marian does good at making me look good. I appreciate it. But you're exactly right. I mean, that's exactly what it was. Palmer sees the ball on the left side, starts that run inside, takes a look at where she's at, and it's that connection, right? As soon as that ball is played, she's off to the races. Just a beautiful touch to get around the keeper, but not out of the goal frame.
Taylor Wirt enters for Marian. As the Knights go to the bench for the first time here today, they strike first. That goal coming in the 21st minute here for the 6th-ranked team in the land. Now, what does UNOH have in their back pocket? They fell behind 1-0, but then scored goals about 12 minutes apart in that first half Monday against St. Thomas. A game played on a neutral site at Judson University in Elgin, Illinois, with St. Thomas making the trek all the way up from Florida. Treadway, the freshman, runs into a double team. Able to boot it off of a Northwestern Ohio leg, but then it ricocheted off of hers, and so the Racers with a throw-in deep in their defensive end.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of the offensive side of the Racers here yet today. But again, we know they can put the ball in the net. We know they can come from behind, which is, again, you've just got to stay tuned in, stay turned on, because they have the players here to take one play and turn it into a game-changing play.
Handball here against Kelly. Even though Northwestern Ohio's scoring output isn't to the 16 number that we've seen from Marian so far, but of the 2 matches they've won, they scored it, and they got shut out, obviously, against a really, really quality team in Indiana Wesleyan. But if you can find the back of the net, good things have happened for them this season, with 2 goals coming in both of those matches.
Right. Part of it is, you'll hear me go on a soapbox about short corners, right? Put the ball in the box and give yourself a chance. Part of it is a law of averages, right?
Yep.
Get the ball in, get the ball in, get the ball in. Eventually, we're going to get something. Yeah, the more chances, the better, obviously. We haven't seen it quite today. But, again, with the styles of both of these teams, it's going at about how we'd expected it. Marian's going to try and keep possession, and UNOH is going to try and counter on opportunities like this.
Treadway whistled for the foul. Free kick for Northwestern Ohio. Rico holds it in to the far side of the box. Some room to work for the Racers. A rising shot misses the near side corner on one by Matilda Berg-Carlson.
Yeah, Risha Nishida there does a great job of flicking that cross just over a little bit wide. Takes it with her left foot, and that almost bends back in. Nervy times there.
Marian able to avoid trouble there as they still hold on to this 1-0 lead.
Those are the moments, nothing crazy dangerous in that position, a 40-yard free kick, but all it takes is that one moment of either falling asleep at the wheel or that play from UNOH to put something on goal and be dangerous.
King with nice footwork to take it away from Grosun. And Marian plays it forward to Palmer, but the flag in the air is Palmer offside. Shots just about even after that attempt from Berg-Carlson. 3-2 in favor of Marian, as the Knights have that 1-goal lead after the Palmer tally in the 21st minute.
Yeah, Berg-Carlson and Katie West, both goal scorers already this season for the Racers. They are 2 attackers that Marian will want to keep tabs of as this game wears on.
Mullen heads that one into the air, out of bounds at the end of the Northwestern Ohio bench. So the Racers have a throw-in coming forward. One of their captains, the senior Olivia Chambers. Nishida knocks it down with her shoulder towards the middle of the 18. Treadway tries to clear. Gets a little bit of help from Cora Selma. The Knights able to avoid a little bit of a dangerous chance. They're right in the middle of the 18.
And Cora Selma putting in the work on the defensive side as well as moving forward. She is hustling in this defensive stand.
Rico with Koger making her life difficult. UNOH turns it over, and it'll be a Marian throw. They quickly restart. Tap back to Koger. Long ball forward, and the flag in the air. Getting Taylor Wirt fresh legs off the bench here for the Knights.
Yeah, great idea there. Just lays it. Parmer, throw goes into her, just lays it off her corner. Selma peels her way off, and just a little bit early on the run forward. I like the idea, though. They're going to keep looking for that.
Another throw-in opportunity upcoming here for UNOH. A sub entering for the Racers as their first sub of the day. It'll be Ella Beaton-Hill, freshman from Scotland. So you can see her jogging under that heavy wrap there on her right thigh. But the first sub, again, we mentioned short bench today for UNOH. Normally does from a roster standpoint, but with Ferns, the normal defender, in at goal, less subs here available for the Racers.
Yeah, and it's not completely, foreign in the college game. I mean, if I think back to the years that we played at IUPUI, we pretty much had a consistent rotation of about, 15, 16 players that were getting big minutes. Now, in this early of a season, you're probably not going to find yourself in a tough spot, but fitness could come into it. Fresh legs at the end, that gives the advantage to Marian, and, they always have a very deep bench full of good talent that there's really not much of a drop-off when they make subs.
The Racers watch this one go out of play, and they'll set up for the throw-in once again. Berg Carlson back to McIntosh, and then Celia Kanalunkek. Melby to Rico. Then back to Kanalunkek again. Trying to get away from Treadway, but passed it right off to the feet of Kelly. Marian, though, couldn't do anything with the giveaway, and they'll just drop back and defend the UNOH throw-in.
Yeah, getting a little peek at what UNOH might be trying to do offensively here. Throw-in comes, they'll flip it across. You see Kanalunkek trying to attack up the wide. Can they combine in the middle and then get wide and get something in? I think that could be their best option forward at times.
Subs from both sides will enter the match here. 2 for Marian, 1 for Northwestern Ohio. The Racers bring in Rhiannon O'Looney. And for Marian, it's Lauren Maresh and Savannah Spangler.
Yeah, Maresh playing a big role for this team last year in the postseason, got some more minutes. She's local here from Noblesville, and a strong midfielder just coming into her sophomore year.
Pass misses its mark. Melby the intended target. After Marian had to settle back and play a little bit more defense than what they normally have had through the first 25 minutes or so, or half hour or so. They get a throw in here and try to quickly attack on the offensive end. Volleyed away by McIntosh.
In for the Knights, number 11, Lauren Marsh, and number 17, Savannah Spangler.
Long pass forward.
Rhiannon O'Looney.
Cross from the edge to the middle of the 18, headed on and into the back of the net. Splendidly done by Northwestern Ohio. Ella Beaton-Hill finishing it off with her first collegiate goal, and we're tied at 1.
Yeah, and CC Kostick just gets beat outside wide, tries to make the tackle. A beautiful cross, and you mentioned it. Ella Beaton-Hill in the right spot there, just able to direct it home into the net. And hey, that's what we were afraid of, right? It's what we warned on the Marian side, is it just takes that one play, no matter how much possession you obtain in the first half. But a good transition goal there by the Racers, and we're back even.
Assist goes to Berg Carlson. That was just a pretty pass from the far edge of the field.
Yeah, she put that serve on a platter. I mean, Beaton-Hill did not have to move far to get ahead on that.
So Beaton-Hill's first goal of her career and the second assist of the season for Matilda Berg Carlson. And we're right back to where we started, knotted at 1. Here between number 6 Marian and number 22 Northwestern Ohio.
Both goals in this game have been obviously well-earned, well-deserved, greatly finished, but the way that they've been given up are some early season tendencies, right? For Marian on the end, okay, your offside strap isn't all, you're not in line. She gets through with a through ball. Okay. This one here, just fall asleep in the box, right? Center backs aren't able to find their mark. She's wide open, able to get a free header. All these are things that coaches are going to bring up throughout the season, and you'll see them improve on defending.
You saw Beaton Hill cut right in front of her defender. It's kind of one of those oh-no moments for the defender, like there's nothing you can do without having a having a drastic call or something like that as a long shot goes just wide. Good look there for Marian.
No, yeah, you're exactly on, and that's, again, the keeper comes into that part as well, communication. Before that ball comes in, I would be taking a peek out of the field. Who's here? Who's there? Who's there? As quick as you can, trying to make sure people are matched up before that cross comes.
That was Koger on the attempt. Her shot going just wide, trying to get that quick counter and quick answer to get Marian back in front.
Yeah, it's encouraging for Marian, though, to get Koger up and get her going. We haven't seen a lot of shots on goal so far from her, but that, again, is one of their firepower tools on offense.
Former offensive player and newcomer of the year in the Crossroads League 2 years ago, was a sophomore after spending her freshman season at Indiana State. Chambers takes it away briefly before Cora Selma finds the ball at her feet once again for Marian. Jones goes all the way back to her keeper, Ames. As the wind is shifted and Marian has it at their back here in the first half. We'll see if they can take advantage of it here and get back in front. Mullen dumps it forward. Koger going for a run on the wide side. Koger back to her left foot, but McIntosh, good one-on-one defense there to make life difficult for Katie Koger.
Yeah, good defensive stand by the Racers there. Koger just unable to beat her defender one-on-one. Well done defensively there, but they're able to recollect, and now they're going to move back forward from the back line again.
Kelly a long one, and McIntosh got her head on it as she was fighting in the air with Maresh.
And that one, we're getting a little too direct there, right? You see even Maresh wasn't ready quite then for that ball. She wasn't coming back on sides, but that is the fault of getting rushed, right? You feel like you have to get another one in. Now you're not playing your game. You're speeding. You're trying to be too direct.
When you're saying too direct, what does that mean for the folks watching at home?
Sure. So back line here, so that ball, I believe, came from Treadway. She's going direct from the back line to the forward, so we're skipping a line. So the ball's going straight versus, passing to a midfielder who then passes it back, and then you go forward. It's a direct without a combination play.
Selma slips it through the middle. This is how Marian scored their first goal, trying to go back in front. Nice play back to the right foot, sliding and some traffic as losing her footing was Taylor Wirt as she tried to put Marian back in the driver's seat.
Great run by Taylor Wirt there. She does a great job of looking at the lineman, looking at the ball, keeping herself on side for that run. As long as you're even, you're on sides. And then, just unable to get past two defenders on that third. Tries, but, a good effort.
Chambers made that great effort coming back defensively for the Racers to make sure that Wirt didn't get that initial shot off the first touch. And the flag's in the air and the hands in the air from the Racer defenders as Cora Selma got a little bit too early of a head start for Marian.
Can't trust the hand. I've risen my hand and gotten calls before, so it's a good trick, but...
You just hope that the official agrees with you, right?
Usually they do.
The most important thing, if your hand's in the air, you got to keep running. Don't just stop. You got to keep going.
Oh yeah, I tell you what, that is maybe the coach's biggest pet peeve in all of soccer is a defender raising their hand and looking at the ref while the play continues.
Nishida takes a spill, pops right back up to her feet.
Yeah, Nishida is really almost the Cora Selma of UNOH that she is for Marian. She is that connecting. She's technical. We've seen her on the ball quite a few times coming out with optimistic results for the Racers.
Free kick for number 22, Northwestern, Ohio. Into the 18, the only one there. Easy work for the keeper, Ames of Marian. Some pressure in the back by O'Looney. O'Looney tried to take that long pass in from Rico. And now Marian once again patient on the back line. Will set things up here with less than 11 to go in the first half. And a 1-1 match. Spangler quickly forward. Maresh onside and has got to step on a couple of defenders. Back to her right foot, shoots and curls that one just a little bit tight to the near side of the goal.
Yeah, that's a great play by the freshman, number 17, Savannah Spangler. Finds the ball in the middle, takes a peek and sees that Maresh is on and is able to go ahead and land that right in the right spot. You know, Maresh is unable to get a bigger touch inside to get back to that right. You'd like to see maybe 2 touches there, and she gets it off clean.
How important was it for Northwestern Ohio to have Catalan Keck, number 8, and McIntosh, number 20, back there, knowing that Wirt wanted to get back to that right foot, and she didn't have as clean of a shot as she wanted. She had to hug that thing tight.
Yeah, and that's why, as a defender, you know, it doesn't matter if they're 5 yards. You're getting back because preferably they're going to get it on their foot, right? So you're expecting probably at least a touch, and usually if it's on the left coming back to the right, it's coming towards you. So for them to get back in front of it, it just adds another, you know, obstacle. Obviously, a keeper's yelling at them to get in between the goal and the ball, and that's all they're trying to do in that situation.
You keepers are always yelling at
We
everybody,
like to
right?
Yell.
It's it's part of the deal, right? If you're not yelling as a keeper, that's a problem.
I mean, as Greg Rakestraw likes to say, I've been watching soccer and talking to myself for 25 years, so I'm kind of a natural at it.
Now you're just glad that everybody else can hear what you're saying.
Exactly.
Except
Finally.
outside of the people in the good seats.
Yeah. Well, my Nana used to stand behind the goal all the games.
Oh, at
You
least-
know what? No shots would come. She'd just stand back there and talk to me.
Well, at least you had a familiar
friend,
face to talk
yeah.
to. Free kick for the Racers, headed on a little bit wide on the attempt from Matilda Berg-Carlson. As we're about to hit the 9-minute mark here of the first half, Marian got that first tally on the Parmer run unassisted, but then 8 minutes later it was Beaton Hill off a beautiful cross from the aforementioned Berg-Carlson, and that's how we have been knotted at 1. Here's Marian Coraselma. 2 goals and assist already for the holding midfielder. A little bit too much juice on that one from Maresh, but able to dink it off of the defender in front of her, which was Chambers.
Yeah, and they're falling back into their offensive rhythm there. You saw as that ball went wide. If you look at the middle of the field, the entire midfielders forward start making their runs in different directions. It's like a symphony.
Jones forward. Mullen onside, deep in the corner. To the edge of the 18, almost stumbling was her teammate Maresh. Her cross attempt will be rewarded with a 3rd corner of the first half here for Marian with less than 8 to go.
Great positioning by Laura Maresh there on that play. She was open and back a little bit, so when she was able to lay it diagonally, she had a great look at the goal. You know, does well to get a corner there as the defender made a nice recovery.
Spangler was ready to boot this one deep. Instead waits for Coraselma to come in. They play it short. Coraselma, open space at the top of the 18, trying to let a shot go. It's blocked. Costa got her foot on that one, bouncing dangerously towards the goal mouth. As Ward able to knock that one down with her knees and keep it here in the attacking third for Marian. Ball between the legs. Fisher fresh off the bench for the Knights. Spangler back on the bottom of your screen. Spangler surveys. Maresh knocks her down. And then Rico clears it away from trouble for Northwestern Ohio.
And this is where Marian will kill you. You know, you think you're cleared to their back line, and they're just moving and coming right back at you. You know, 10, 15 minutes of that, that's the pressure that Marian uses to wear down other teams' defenses.
Less than 7 to go before halftime here from Ascension St. Vincent Field. Number 6, Marian. Number 22, Northwestern Ohio, knotted at 1. Jones tried to play it through, deflected, and now Northwestern Ohio briefly had something cooking for a moment before Spangler came in and stole it back for Marian. Rico with Koger defending her. West to the middle of the field, and the goal scorer Beaton Hill. Long pass through to Permanent. Left-footed forward, plays it behind Berg-Carlson. And good hustle to get back by Vivian Permanent. Permanent through the tackle, attempt of Spangler into space. So the Racers trying to get this one to the end line, sliding back through wide open and cleared away. A wonderful opportunity for the Racers, but CC Kostick keeps our match tied at 1.
Yeah, and at the right time here, you see Catalan Keck does a great job to get that ball. You'd like to see Ames dive there. You want her to cut that ball off and not let it get into the middle. I mean, luckily, CC Kostick there on the 1s and 2s, able to clear it before disaster, but that is just a bit of a falling asleep at the wheel defensive play by Marian there.
And if you're Ames, that's got to be a sickening feeling, letting it go by, and then look, and the first person you see is someone for the other team 2 yards away from you.
Right, and it's a difficult one. You saw her almost trying to like halfway get down. You've either got to commit, and even if you tip it, you're tipping it from that person directly behind you. You got to get something on it. You don't want to get caught. We call that no man's land. You're stuck in between.
Back to that back line of Marian, forward to Fisher. Less than 5 minutes remaining here in an exciting first half between two teams in the top 25. Kelly circles back and gives off to Jones. Flag is in the air offside as Maresh was the first one to touch that one. Fern's the normal starting defender, making her first start at keeper here this season for Northwestern Ohio after having to step in with Eisner getting that red card in the 61st minute of the match on Monday. Gets her first start here. Has allowed the 1 goal, has been tested a couple of times, but not bad for your first start in goal, and who knows how long after coming in as a defender this year.
Could be the first ever. You never know.
That's right.
Never know. You know what? And keeper is one of those positions where if you're athletic enough, you can probably get away with it for a couple games before you make, a massive, massive mistake. So good for her. I mean, they'll have their normal keeper back after, her red card suspension. We'll see if she can get her job back. I mean, heck.
3 and change left. Koger's been held kind of quiet here so far today. Mullen with a run up the right side, off of her, and a quick restart here for the Racers. As Maresh able to tightrope that far sideline and hold it in momentarily, and then able to play it off of a UNOH player, and that'll mean a nice throw in deep in the attacking half here for Marian.
Great effort on that win there by Maresh, able to get the ball back and keep it in their offensive third.
Jones forward. Mullen, a step on her defender, had to wait for the ball to come back to her feet. Oh, nice move back to her right foot, able to cross it in. Diving out as Ferns jumped right in front of the Marian forward, and now Ferns a little bit slow to get back up after trying to keep this match tied at 1.
Yeah, they're going to stop the time, have Ferns looked at here, but we were just saying if you're athletic enough, you can get away with it for a couple games, and that's one of them. I mean, she sees the ball coming in, sees the Marian attacker, and knows she's got to get to it. Does everything to throw and get her hands out there, punches it wide. Took a little bit of a body shot with it, but it's part of the job.
Get a look at it here.
It's a great cross there. Yeah, I don't think that's a foul necessarily on Taylor Wirt there. She's not impeding. She's not coming into her space too much.
It looks like the biggest issue for Ferns was she got a mouthful of turf when she kind of collided with both her teammate and along with Wirt right there.
Really big love relationship, or hate-love relationship with turf, because it's soft to dive on. We love that as keepers.
But there's a but coming.
But there are about a million zillion little black rubber beads in that turf, and when you're a goalkeeper diving around and rolling on it,
it's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, it's a sock full, it's a T-shirt full. You get home to shower at night, and you're just shaking rubber pellets out of your clothes. And nose. That one's not fun.
As I saw somebody put it a couple of weeks ago, they said we've now reached the time of the year where every time you go home, if you work in high school or college athletics, you are emptying black rubber pellets from your shoes every time you come home.
100%. Yeah, I came up, I think I was probably in high school when like this type of field turf started becoming popular, and it's great. It's cushiony. We love it. You know, you can slide, get down on it, but I mean, my mom I must have gone through like 3 vacuum cleaners in high school just full of rubber beads.
You got to empty your pockets and your shoes out in the garage before coming in to the Hazley household.
Oh, that was a rule for sure. Gloves weren't even allowed on the premises. Keep those keeper gloves 3 miles away, please.
Was that for the smell or the rubber pellets they brought, or both?
The smell. The smell.
1 minute left to go here in this first half. Tied at 1 between number 6 Marian and number 22 Northwestern Ohio. Double team against Coger. Everybody pointing it should go in their favor, and the officials say it's going to be a Marian throw-in.
Ooh, trying to go with speed there. Ref takes him back. You hate to see that. They want to get some momentum there in the last minute.
Spangler in the middle of the field for the Knights. Came off the bench here in the first half as Marian trying to get one last push in our opening 45 minutes. And UNOH more than content just to keep kicking that ball out of bounds and burning off precious time here at the end of the first half.
9, 8, 7, 6.
You know, all in all, they've put together a nice half.
3,
UNOH has
2, 1.
being able to stay in it, keep their form, and walk into halftime as a tie game. That's a big accomplishment going down 1-0 in the first half.
Tied at 1, goals in the 21st and 29th minute. Marian struck first. Northwestern Ohio tied it up, and we are even after 45 minutes of play here from Ascension at St. Vincent Field on the campus of Marian University. We're back with our halftime show next. You're watching Women's College Soccer on the ISC Sports Network.
Merchants Bank is a unique bank. As rates move up and down, our rates are always at the top.
Great. Let's go.
Our team has a proven track record as one of the nation's top performing banks.
Now, that's a top performer.
What you see is what you get. A 4.60 APY Flex Index CD. It flexes, so you earn a great rate.
Let's leapfrog him. Hop to it. Merchants Bank, where your money is safe, secure, and earning more. Hop on over.
Steady.
I got this.
I don't think that's right, Peyton.
Being a heart surgeon is tough.
I know, the whole cardiac team at Ascension St. Vincent is so skilled.
They can do it all, even the most complex heart surgeries.
How about we leave it to the professionals?
I like that.
Get expert care for hearts big and small at Ascension St. Vincent.
That doesn't go there.
We'll fix you, pal.
At Indiana Members Credit Union, we're invested in more than just your finances. We're invested in your future, the future of your family, the well-being of the community you live in, and in those who dream big. Until those dreams become a reality, any bank can give you a loan or open an account. At IMCU, we care about more than just dollars and cents. We care about doing things that make sense. And investing in you makes good sense to us.
When you have back or neck pain, you'll try anything for relief. Anything.
Whoa! Honey?
Honey, it was mustard seed.
For real options, get your back in front of the spine experts at Ortho Indy. Ortho Indy Spine. This is your way back.
One half in the books, and corners have been a big thing for Marian. They have had the advantage over Northwestern Ohio 3-zip in corners as they lead UNOH here at the half, or they are tied at the half, excuse me, with the Racers 1-1. Rick Johnston, Kristen Hazley here with you. Marian struck first, Northwestern Ohio able to answer 8 minutes later. Thoughts on the first half overall? Pretty good match between two top 25 teams.
Yeah, what we expected for a top 25 matchup. You know, we mentioned it during the run of play. Some early season mistakes, if you will, but, you know, nothing that's uncommon necessarily. Back and forth, we saw Marian try and play the possession game, and we saw how deadly UNOH can be on a transition. So, all in all, we've kind of seen two different kinds of styles, but a great first half.
Shots even between the two sides. Northwestern Ohio has the advantage in shots on goal by 1, 3-2. Fouls 4-2 in favor of Marian. As we mentioned, the corners as well, 3-zip. Goal scorers Olivia Palmer in the first half for Marian. That is her third goal of the year. Ella Beaton-Hill, her first goal of her college career for the freshman from Scotland off of the cross from Matilda Berg-Carlson. That was her second assist of the year. Those are your first half stats. We'll take a break and come back with more. You're watching women's college soccer on the ISC Sports Network.
We jumped in immediately. We take an intro to engineering course.
And they sit there and tell you, we're not going to push you through every single prereq your first 2 years. We're going to let you get hands-on work with engineering right away, because 2 years of a prereq, that's boring.
There's companies always asking for students with shop experience. And the dean will email me and say, hey, they're looking for a guy just like you, which is awesome that the dean knows who a guy like me is.
Getting an internship here has been much easier than I anticipated. My friends at bigger schools are telling me, well, I need to live, close to this city so I can work for this company. Well, I'm already close to the city. I live here.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Now get financing as low as 5.74% APR on a new or used vehicle. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Caitlin, I'm here to show you all the best places in Indy, like the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital ER.
Great place to go for a fever, am I right?
Or a common cold. Get it? Like a common cold? Tough crowd.
Can I have an autograph?
Of course.
Caitlin, it kind of seems like you already know your way around.
A little, but my name's not on the hospital yet.
Peyton Manning Children's Hospital, a new and expanded ER to serve more of Indiana's kids.
Cold, like cold. That's the joke, right?
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work, it can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Back at Ascension St. Vincent Field, 1-1 score the half. Let's take a look at some of those first half highlights here on the ISC Sports Network. 2 goals to talk about from our first 45 minutes of play, but it almost got going early before Olivia Palmer rang this one right off the post.
Yeah, pay attention. You're going to see a bit of a carbon copy here on the goal. She looks for the same type of ball coming forward and is able to touch it back to her right and finishes when we get there.
Palmer, a couple of shots on goal, testing out Ferns early on. There was a save from Ames, and then here's what Kristen mentioned. Palmer back, beats Ferns, then a wide open goal to shoot in.
Yeah, I had the practice run earlier, a little bit wide. Make sure that it is buried in the net that time. Puts them up 1-0.
Another dangerous chance. That was Koger, almost pushed it wide to almost make it 2-0 Marian. Nice run here from Wirt, but the UNOH defense gets back in time, and just a slow roller that Ferns is able to scoop up.
Yeah, goal-saving tackle there by Ella Bechon, able to make the save before she puts it in the back of the net. Then going forward, Catalan Cac does a good job of keeping that ball inside and then getting an unorthodox but a nice cross open in the middle of goal. Marian lucky not to concede one there as well.
That one would have given UNOH the 2-1 lead here against the Knights. When you look to the second half here, Kristen, what are some things you want to see from both sides? First up for Marian.
Yeah, for Marian, I think, we mentioned it a few times in the run of play, but continuing to be patient in your possession. If you're going to play the possession game, you're playing the long game. So you have to understand, you can't get frustrated if you don't get all the opportunities you want at first. You're playing for the consistency, knowing that opportunity is going to come. On the other side, if you're UNOH, I think they did a good job of showing how explosive their offense can be when they get the chance. Can they string together a little bit more possession, put that Marian backline under some more pressure? We saw them. There's those early season mistakes. Can you put enough pressure on that those come out?
6th match of the year for Marian, just the 4th for Northwestern Ohio, and the Racers have been on the road for the majority of them. Same thing for Marian, playing in just their 2nd home match of the year. Again, tied at 1 here at the half. Palmer's goal came in the 21st minute for Marian. Beaton Hill's goal came in the 29th minute for Northwestern Ohio. That is how we are knotted at 1. Two teams that made the national tournament a year ago, hoping to set the early seeds for another trip to the national stage here in 2025. Tied at 1 at the break. We're back with more next. You're watching the ISC Sports Network.
This story is mad good.
Ice Spice?
Who's that?
It's my ex, lemon lime soda.
This is intense.
But I love you.
Aw, buddy, it'll be okay.
Or not.
To see the success that we've had around here has been very, very rewarding for me. My name is Steve Downing. I'm athletic director. We've been able to build buildings. We've been able to put up video boards. We've been able to build locker rooms, dining halls here. And I think a lot of that speaks to the M Club itself. People are really excited about what we're doing here. We haven't had to sacrifice anything for our athletes, okay, in terms of clothing them, feeding them, or traveling them to events. And we've done it in a first-class way, and I'm really excited about what that means for the M Club itself.
Hey, grab me one too.
There's something that may surprise you about Marian University. It's not our Catholic faith or our Franciscan values. It's not our 5,000 students or our diversity. It's not Marian's championship athletics or our Indianapolis location. It's that Marian is home to Indiana's only college of osteopathic medicine. Marian, Indy's Catholic University.
The Marian tennis courts looking for some folks to play some tennis here this afternoon. Everybody's sights set here at Ascension St. Vincent Field for Marian women's soccer. Men victorious earlier today over Governor State 5-1. The final in that. Volleyball going on right now inside the PE Center, and Marian football taking on Lawrence Tech tonight at 7 o'clock. A full day of Marian sports. It's another Marian Saturday here on the ISC Sports Network. Right now the women's soccer team 1-1 tie with number 22 Northwestern Ohio. And Kristen, we've talked about it, how great the Crossroads League is for the women's soccer side of things. 5 to 6 teams in the national tournament every year. But when you're a team like Marian, how important is it to get these early tests in the non-conference against teams that are probably going to be playing in the postseason like you hopefully will be as well?
Right. It's a different level you're preparing for, right? It's early in the season. You're still playing good competition. It's not that conference competition, but that's okay. When you get into that conference season, it's every game matters. You're trying to find that playoff spot, that tournament spot. So these are the games where you can figure things out, right? Like, yeah, you want to have a great record and whatnot, but you want to be playing your best soccer, like we mentioned earlier, about tournament time. That means you're progressing through that conference season, playing a little bit better each time, which is great in a conference like this because the competition just keeps getting better too. I mean, it's tough though because you also know you're going to get everyone's best shot every night.
You also know too, it probably is you can get some things out of your system, like you mentioned, the kind of falling asleep on the defensive end that led to the Northwestern Ohio goal. A little bit different if you're late in the conference season knowing, oh, we got to win this match, or you have to get a certain goal differential or something like that. You can kind of work on things and tweak things, but you can also give some of your younger folks and some of your other people some more valuable minutes here and see if they could contribute. Like you mentioned, a couple of young ladies from Marian saw some real breakout performances in the postseason last year. You can kind of set things up now, that table now, hopefully it pays off in the end.
Yeah, and Marian did have to kind of dig into that bench last season due to injury as we got into that conference tournament, and you talked about Savannah Spangler, the freshman, getting some minutes. A freshman, Allie Treadway, started. We also saw Liz Fisher out there, getting those minutes, whether it's towards the end of the half, where, okay, they can come in as almost like a closer, right?
Yeah.
Those fresh legs that we know are going to be dangerous. It's not going to hurt us, though, to get them out there. And that's what Marian's been so good at these last, probably 10 years almost, right? Is just feeding that program. They don't have a drop-off when they go to the bench that much.
Should be a good second half. Tied at 1 between number 6 Marian, number 22 Northwestern Ohio. The second half kicks off next here on the ISC Sports Network.
Merchants Bank is a unique bank. As rates move up and down, our rates are always at the top.
Great. Let's go.
Our team has a proven track record as one of the nation's top performing banks.
Now, that's a top performer.
What you see is what you get. A 4.60 APY Flex Index CD. It flexes, so you earn a great rate.
Let's leapfrog him. Hop to it. Merchants Bank, where your money is safe, secure, and earning more. Hop on over.
Steady.
I got this.
I don't think that's right, Peyton.
Being a heart surgeon is tough.
I know. The whole cardiac team at Ascension St. Vincent is so skilled.
They can do it all, even the most complex heart surgeries.
How about we leave it to the professionals?
I like that.
Get expert care for hearts big and small at Ascension St. Vincent.
That doesn't go there.
We'll fix you, pal.
At Indiana Members Credit Union, we're invested in more than just your finances. We're invested in your future, the future of your family, the well-being of the community you live in, and in those who dream big. Until those dreams become a reality, any bank can give you a loan or open an account. At IMCU, we care about more than just dollars and cents. We care about doing things that make sense. And investing in you makes good sense to us.
Shades on this sunny afternoon for the folks at the end of the Marian bench. Bright sunshine here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in downtown Indianapolis. The home team Marian Knights, number 6 team in the country, tied at 1 with number 22 Northwestern Ohio in a key non-conference match here early this season. Marian trying to move their record to 6-0. Northwestern Ohio trying to get to 3-1. Both teams back out on the field. We mentioned each team took 5 shots in that first half. 3 of them for UNOH were on frame. 2 of them for Marian on frame as well. As the Racers and the Knights locking up here today in our second match of our Saturday soccer doubleheader here from Ascension St. Vincent Field. Second half kick will belong to Northwestern Ohio, and Rhiannon O'Looney will start the second half here for UNOH after coming off the bench in the first 45 minutes. Racers in the road black, Marian in the home white. They were deadlocked after 45 minutes. We'll see what the second 45 has for us in store here from Marian University. Nashida up to O'Looney. Playing in her 4th match of her senior year. Transferred from Oakland City University down in the southern part of Indiana. See Olivia Chambers getting ready for the throw here for Northwestern Ohio, one of the captains for the Racers with that highlighter yellow armband. CC Kostick in the vicinity defending for Marian. Svenja Jorg gets the start here for UNOH. That's a number 11 in black, the freshman from Germany. York couldn't spin away from the double team as Cora Selma took it right off of her toe. Knights with their first touch here in the second half. They played back to their keeper Ames, who made 2 saves in that first half.
Yeah, you're just highlighting a few different players in this half for UNOH. Couple tactical changes. We'll see if it changes the way they play at all here. Right now it looks like they're doing a bit of a low pressure defensive stance, which would make sense going against a team that likes to possess the ball.
Like we talked about in the first half, Marian incredibly patient. The biggest thing for Northwestern and Ohio is you don't want that to lull you to sleep and then have Marian come right up the middle and go one-on-one with Ferns.
Right, keys to the game if UNOH is going to come off, on top, it's going to be keeping that shape, being patient, not making those mistakes, whether it be falling out of shape, falling asleep at the wheel, losing your defender. If they can do that, keep Marian, stifled a bit, they've got a chance on the offensive end.
Ferns trying to rifle it away from the goal, but it bounces right to the feet of Palmer. Trying to get one step on McIntosh, who tapped it away as Palmer, the goal scorer for Marian, tracking it in the far corner. Treadway scoops it up for the Knights. Tight quarters there for Palmer with 2 defenders right around her, taken away by the sprinting Vivian Permanent. The Knights able to win it back out near midfield, and CC Kostick. Kelly's pass right off the feet of Permanent. Marian trying to build with the back line here is Cora Selma, their connecting midfielder, holding midfielder, excuse me. Mullen around the challenge. Sidestep the second defender, but the initial defender in Jorg came back, was able to sweep that ball away.
Yeah, I just feel like both teams are kind of warming up out of the halftime, just trying to get a couple touches on the ball. Feels like 3 or 4 ready to go. We got to wait for everyone else to get up going now.
Rico came in with a lot of speed, knocked the Marian player off of her path. As Permanent taken down right near midfield. Foul against the Knights will set up a long free kick for Northwestern Ohio.
Yeah, and that's the danger of playing that 4 back with the outsides. You want them to come forward and try and win those balls, but if they don't, you've got to rotate over on, the left side, cover that area. So overall, not a bad foul for Erin Kelly to give in that position. You can get back and hold your line now.
A wall of white keeping that ball away from the 18-yard box to the left. As Kelly able to dump it back down to Jones. Here's Marian Cora Selma with some room to operate. He goes a long pass up to Palmer near midfield.
Good awareness by Palmer there. Just lays it out wide for Cora Selma to come onto smartly. Hits the deck after a little bit of contact there. They'll get the free kick.
Rico the guilty party for UNOH. And now here's Kelly. Long pass to Palmer, and that's what we were talking a little bit back in that first half, that 2 direct line right to Palmer, about a 20-yard pass or so.
Yeah, you just need to almost work it inside to out. It's much easier to defend a straight pass than it is to defend a diagonal pass or either way. So it's finding those angles, and sometimes that requires a little bit more work.
Treadway showing off the wheel, stops and starts. See a couple of Racer defenders' hands in the air wanting an offside flag. It doesn't come, but the Racers able to steal the ball back away and try to counter from their defensive end.
There you go. Much better by Erin Kelly there. You see how high she is as a defender, but she wins the ball and is able to keep the ball in that side of the field.
Mullen at the bottom of your screen for Marian. Jets to the middle. Koger draws a double team. Takes a spill as the Racers clear it away from trouble.
I like the idea of trying to find Koger up there. She hasn't been the focus yet. That's just, with 2 defenders on her in the middle of the goal, not a lot of room to work at that spot. So maybe trying to find her earlier or wider is going to give her more real estate to really kind of work with.
Kelly gets it back from King. As Kylie Jones will swing into the midfield, and Marian Cora Selma. CC Kostick leads Mullen, but that ball's going to take a right-hand turn and go out of play.
Yeah, again, that's one of those balls, early season touch, getting used to the turf a bit, getting used to who you're playing the ball onto. I mean, those are little things. Like if you get a new forward, they might like receiving the ball at their left more versus their right. Those are all things you've got to learn throughout a season. And, luckily for Marian, like we touched on, not a whole lot of changes. But obviously, new players you need to work into the system. They need to learn, what are your principles of play? Are we going to keep the ball and be patient? Are we looking for a quick, direct attack? I mean, that's up to each individual coach and each individual program, but it's critical that everyone's on the same page.
Kelly from distance got deflected on the way there, dives inside the box as McIntosh drives it high towards the sky. Kostick forward in a big fall from Wirt. Went face first right into the turf.
Yeah, that's probably best case scenario there for Taylor Wirt. You receive the ball, you're already going backwards. She might have been able to find Kelly kind of diagonal to the right there, but you will take a free kick from 35 yards out. Although with Marian, if you're not within about 20 yards, it's pretty much going to be a short, quick corner, or a short, quick restart.
Kostick weaves her way through, tries from distance, and left it high.
And that's why, right? I mean, they do so well at getting opportunities in the run of play that they don't feel like they need to use a set piece as almost a setup piece, right? Mm-hmm. They feel confident enough that, hey, I'm going to play it to Kostick. She's going to get forward. She's going to cross it in, and that's what we're, playing with.
Wind has shifted, and now it has followed Marian with the wind slightly at their backs here in the second half. They had it at their backs in the first half, and the halftime winds have followed the home team Knights here. How can that help the team out attacking with the wind at your back, but also maybe some of the perils of that as well?
Yeah, with a win like this, it's not going to play too much of an effect. I mean, typically, you'll want to do what Marian did. You want to play against the elements in the first half, so you've kind of got it on your side for that second half as you get down to the end of the minutes. But biggest effect is, neither of these teams really play high, direct, long balls. Marian gets sucked into it sometimes, but we didn't see it much from UNOH. So, it's not going to play that massive of an effect except on, keepers and maybe free kicks.
Here's Kostick trying to find an edge around Nishida. Cut her off and lays it on back to Coraselma. Mullen trying to get a step and fighting for that space. Nice job by Chambers to use her body to shield Mullen and win the ball back for UNOH.
Yeah, that's great defending there by Olivia Chambers. Not only does she contain her there, she's able to not give up a corner in that position, which Marian, as we've talked about, is very good at, is winning those corners. So great job by Chambers there to collect, clears it a little bit, far enough out of danger there for the throw.
Koger. Cross was blocked. The Knights looking for a handball against Chambers that does not come. The Racers kick it out of bounds, so the Knights have a throw-in. So we played 9 minutes here in the second half. Ball's pretty much been on this end of the field here for Marian since the second half kickoff.
Yep, again, what we're looking for, that's Marian's blueprint. Can they continue to put that pressure down, wear down that defense until they're able to break through on a restart or, a recycled cross, whatever it may be.
Foul against the Knights, so a free kick from the defensive end upcoming for Northwestern Ohio. This is Christine Melby, senior out of Denmark. Quick turnover, now it's a two-woman game. Koger plays it into space. Help comes from her left, and the defense of Celia Catalan-Keck, who locks horns with Koger. Keck giving up 2 inches to Koger, able to win that ball briefly for UNOH.
Yeah, and well done by Catalan-Keck, because Koger is not an easy player to dispossess, let alone when she is headed towards goal. So well defended there.
Wirt off the dump pass, trying to find an edge towards the middle. There was Nishida that came in from behind, took it away once, and then takes it away cleanly.
Again, another just well-timed touch there by Kelly. And you can see, in that position there, if that goes wrong, you're 2v, probably 2 going back to goal. So, it's obviously high risk, high reward type of play, but Kelly does it really, really well for this level.
Marian Coraselma looking for help. Kostick, who's been much more involved in the attack here in the second half. Long one from Jones, one of the youngster Treadway. Catalan Keck off, and the Speedy Treadway has a throw for Marian. Koger fighting for position with Catalan Keck. Back towards the end line, and the Racers clear it away. Whistle blows, and a foul against Marian. As again, Northwestern Ohio just trying to get the ball into their offensive half and just kind of hold on to it for a beat for the first time here in half two.
Yeah, you're spot on. You know, the Racers need to keep their shape, limit their fouls, especially out wide when Marian tries to go that way. And if they can go ahead and strike in transition, this is a completely different game.
Direct long one from Melby, read perfectly by Marian as they're able to head that one out of play. Melby with a touch, runs into a double team off the redirect, finds Rico. Wanted to come to the near side, and Jorg. Her soft pass was intercepted by Mullen. It's got a head of steam coming forward for Marian. Just goes out of bounds as McIntosh and Palmer were there step for step with each other.
Yes, Svenja Jorg made the substitution in the second half here, and she's doing a lot of good things for them in the midfield. Trying to grab some more possession for them. She's played forward, played back. She's got some really nice vision so far.
Chambers, the captain, to take the free kick. UNOH trying to get a marquee non-conference win here against number 6 Marian. The Knights trying to keep their record unblemished and move to 6-0. Off the foul from Marian, O'Looney caught between a couple of different Knight defenders. But Rico does a good job to hold it in.
Well defended by Marian there. It's sometimes hard for that back line and, you know, even that holding midfielder to switch so quickly from offense to defense when you're so used to possessing so much of it. So, you know, that can be testy times there. A free kick in the middle of the field potentially could go on goal, and they did a great job of staying composed and clearing the lines.
Treadway, long pass forward to Koger, the former Offensive Player of the Year in the Crossroads League. Works back to her right foot. Her centering ball deflected off the leg of Vivian Permanen. So it's a little bit slow to get back up. It's out of bounds. It'll stay here with Marian, but Koger trying to create there from that far side of the field.
Yeah, and we mentioned UNOH doesn't have a lot of subs, so hopefully Permanen here is all right. Looks like she's got a heel stinger there. Should be good. Those hurt so bad, but you know, it's no one's fault.
Long range shot right to the breadbasket of Ferns as she makes the catch backpedaling.
You're fine with that shot. Make Ferns work a little bit. See where she's at after the halftime. You know, next time you're going through, maybe you pass again, try and find a different angle, better look at it.
Is that something you could try to do here with the win at your back in the second half, knowing that Ferns, you know, you're not sure when the last time she was in goal and knowing this is her first start of her college career at a position she's not billed at on the roster?
Right. So, yeah, we talked about in the first half, you know, if you're athletic enough, you can get away with it for so long. That's one thing that would show greatly is the keeper's positioning. We saw it actually on the first goal as well for Marian, where she came out too far, caught herself up. If you can see her now, she is in her 6-yard box when the ball is at halfway field. A keeper would typically be outside of your 18, you know, you're up out of your box. So that right there just shows you she's not 100% comfortable in the role. And yeah, a high ball, a free kick, if she's not used to that and used to the wind, getting back to the bar is what we call it when it's over your head and back towards the crossbar is one of the toughest saves for a keeper. So I'm not sure she's got a lot of practice on the back-to-bar saves. So, yeah, free kicks, I think you're looking at a for sure advantage with the wind at your back if you don't go over.
You want to eliminate as many of those because, I mean, you see it a couple of times every soccer season. Someone's going to score from 70 yards out, and you just see the goalie going back, and they're backpedaling, and it kind of looks like they're walking for the first time, or they're going in the opposite direction you normally go. So even for the most veteran keepers, that's a really hard thing to try to do.
Yeah, I was going to say you're giving me PTSD here.
That's why I stopped.
Yeah.
Palmer to the middle, a little bit too much for Koger with some traffic in front.
Yeah, great run and great cross by Palmer, unable to finish it. But yeah, my first collegiate start at IUPUI was against Nebraska, at Nebraska. And I think we took like 40-something goal kicks that game. And the first goal I got scored on was one of those back to the bars, and I was just a step too high, not respecting the big old corn-fed Nebraska girls, and I can still hear Coach yelling at me. But yes, it's very hard.
Yeah, no, it's even for the experts. But Ferns, again, we mentioned, faced 4 shots, saved them all Monday in the win against St. Thomas. Here she's only allowed 1 to go in, but she's made some pretty solid saves here. She's made 2 of them this afternoon, and she has had some other testy ones come her way.
That's the name of the game, for a keeper just stepping in. Just keep yourselves in the game, that's all they're asking her, and she's done a great job so far.
Catalan Keck, hip check down, and Treadway will be whistled for the foul. If you're Northwestern Ohio, again, we mentioned it, through the first over about 17 minutes of the second half here, they have not been able to hold the ball on this end of the field in the attacking end. You don't want to go away from your tactics, but you almost just kind of want to say, we just kind of want to possess it down here to maybe give our defenders maybe a little bit of a breather?
Yeah, you're looking for that. At the same time, Marian's doing such a great job of possessing that it's,
long-range shot goes off the back of O'Looney.
Yeah, it's hard to, grab that much of possession, but at the same time, if you're UNOH, you're kind of okay with that, right? Like, because you're sitting back, you're obviously not getting lulled to sleep, but at the same time, you're not chasing them around the whole time that they do have the ball. Obviously, yes, as a coach, you'd love to see them possess and try and move in and out of that Marian defense, but
easier said than done, right?
It's almost you got to take what the game gives you. You'd like to go out and play your game plan every single game, but what is the game providing you? What is being presented, and can you recognize that and take those opportunities?
And that's why Northwestern Ohio plays a match like this, because it helps them adapt when you get ready for that WAC season coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah, and we mentioned it as well. It's a 1-1 game. Again, Marian has controlled possession a majority of the game. It's 1-1. You talk about a free kick right there, 25 yards out. All it takes is that moment, and you're looking at a 2-1 scoreline, and Marian dominated possession and is not on top on the scoreboard. So it's, that's why we love and hate soccer.
Most recent sub for Northwestern Ohio, Matilda Berg-Carlson. She replaces Svenja Jorg. So the only non-starter on the field right now for Northwestern Ohio is number 19, Rhiannon O'Looney.
That's an interesting substitute rotation. I haven't seen it or thought of it before, but basically rest your starters, the first 1/3 of the second half, and then put them in for the second half. It's interesting. I like it.
One other reserve out there, Ella Beaton-Hill, 6 in black. Here comes Permanent towards the middle, off the foot, and then a big hip check from O'Looney right through the back of Marian Koro-Selma. But able to scoop it up was the keeper, Ames, for the Knights.
I don't know. Ref might have turned his back already, but it looked like a decent shove. I mean, Ames already had the ball, so probably just didn't see it, I would think.
Koro-Selma looks to be A-OK. So you're right there on the left of your screen. 4 in white now with the ball at her feet. Mullen tried to whirl with it on her toe, and so that's to lay it on back to Kostick. Kelly turns and brings her keeper Ames into the run of play here.
And as that ball moves around the back, it's fun to just watch the other, 5 attacking Marian players kind of weave in and out, checking into the midfield, checking wide, giving that back line all different kinds of options to go forward.
Long pass forward, Palmer. McIntosh has been marking her pretty much the entire day. And it's out off of McIntosh, and a throw in from about the box line extended here for the Knights of Marian. Permanent tried to do something with it. Instead, it's off of her. Pressure from Aaron Kelly. Another opportunity on the throw here for Marian. 20 minutes gone here in the second half. The Knights 2 shots here after halftime. UNOH still looking for that first shot.
Yeah, and as long as this game stays tied, you would think the advantage would go to the team that has the most possession, with it, which at this point is Marian. But I almost think you get a little nervy if you're Marian, because you've seen that UNOH can score without possession and without the ball very quickly. So I almost think that favors UNOH keeping it tight as we go longer. I think if you're Marian, you're kind of frustrated that you haven't put more in the back of the net at this point. I don't know that that's necessarily fair, but it's a great team. But, either or, I think that does kind of advantage the Racers as the game wears on. When
you look at the tallying goal from Beaton Hill, it came in the 29th minute, but it was like just a flash out of nowhere. The ball was, in that final third, they crossed it, and then boom, it got headed into the back of there. It's like, oh, whoa, that kind of put you back in your seat a little bit.
Right, so they can flip that switch, right? And that's why you just get a little almost testy towards the end. They can do that. Marian obviously can do it as well. They just haven't shown it yet. And they haven't had to respond in a game, quite yet this season. They've sort of, had, I don't want to call it a cakewalk because they've played good competition, but they haven't had to come from behind at all.
Had a tough one against Cumberland Sunday that they won 2-1 on the road. Again, that was their third true road match of the year, so a little bit of a test there on Sunday.
That's a team they saw last year in the postseason and would probably be seeing it again this year, I would guess.
McIntosh forward, wanting Vivian Permanent. There's a lot of defenders back. Waits for reinforcements. There's Beaton Hill. Her shot, getting a piece of it, was Marian Coroselma.
That's a great defensive play by Coroselma there. She is running back towards her goal and is able to stop, face up, and make the touch away from her player. It's a good run, and it's a great defending stance.
The Knights slowing it down once again. They'll take it up near midfield if they don't see anything quickly. They are more than happy to lay it back to their back line. Let their 4-line defenders just kind of figure things out themselves, or their 3-line defenders here.
Yeah, I do think, there's one thing that this style of possession can sometimes do, and I think we're seeing it a little bit this early in the season, is so we saw Coroselma a ton last year carry the ball through midfield, take on players in the midfield. When you've switched so much to this possession, it's almost you're automatically pass. It's in your brain. So we haven't really seen her turn up and take anyone on. Now, granted, she's been deep in the midfield, but we also haven't seen it from Koger either. And that's, has been her bread and butter offensively, is being able to beat those defenders with a 1 or 2 touch and bury it in the back of the goal. And just haven't seen that yet,
Looking out there, Koger has got Christine Melby right there in her hip pocket everywhere she goes, and rightfully so. She had 11 goals last year, second leading scorer for the Knights, first team all-league. As you see, look at the foul there from Coroselma. So it looks like, particularly in the second half, UNOH has made it a concerted effort. They want anyone except 14 and white to try to get that go-ahead goal.
Yeah, and that's new for Koger, too. She had a great breakout season last year, but now everyone knows. It's this conference knows each other better than the back of their hands. Koger's going to get everyone's best shot. She's going to have to be a little bit creative this year, I think, do something different in front of goal.
Yellow card issued to number 4, Marian Coroselma.
So Marian Coroselma gets the yellow card here for the Knights. It's our first yellow card issued here this afternoon. Flicked into the 18, cleared away by Kylie Jones, the 6-foot defender. Permanent caught in traffic. Quick move from Catalan Keck. Just a little bit off target for O'Looney, who's sitting inside the 18. Goal kick upcoming for Marian.
Yeah, and Marian lucky there that Catalan Keck not only stayed on her feet because ref raised his hand to play advantage, but stayed on her feet, and then that second ball in was just a little heavy. They're able to escape with a goal kick there, but those are the moments where just a touch or two, one way, you're worried about giving up a goal.
Jenny Grossun on for Northwestern Ohio, replacing Risa Nishida.
For the Racers, number 13.
As we get close to the final 20 minutes of regulation here between number 6 Marian and number 22 Northwestern Ohio. Knights scored first on the Palmer tally in the 21st minute. Beaton Hill Off the header, off a beautiful cross, tied it in the 29th minute.
Yeah, Erin Kelly lucky that the foul gets called there. I mean, Permanent got her with the hip check, but sometimes you'll see that, play on. But she had a good look at goal kind of going in if that call doesn't get made. So Marian's breathe a sigh of relief there and go back to possession.
Work forward. Here comes the speedster in Treadway, but the pass too far in front, and so McIntosh makes a smart play and sweeps it out of bounds.
Yeah, Judy McIntosh holding down that back line, and she's been right just about every tackle tonight or this afternoon. She has been on it. She has limited danger, and that's all you can ask for from a center back.
King gets it back and sends it all the way in reverse to Kelly. Here's Cece Kostick, sophomore out of Minnesota.
That's gonna, yep.
And Wirt draws the foul there on the recently inserted Grosson, and a yellow card to the freshman from Switzerland.
Quick yellow for her, but he grabbed the jersey that obvious, and you're probably gonna get a card.
Whole lot of handful, big handful of the jersey
yeah,
there.
You gotta be sneakier than that. I'll tell you that much. Middle of the field in front of the ref, you're not gonna get away with that.
And the jersey extended out about a foot, pulled it back a little bit. He's looking at, what is this? How did this get in my hand?
Coach used to say that's always why you tuck your shirt in. So if someone pulls it out, I think you just want us to tuck our shirts in. But if someone pulls it out, the ref sees it,
Kylie Jones was ready to tee off. She'll let Cora Selma do that. Works it to the backside in Treadway. Trying to shake away from Celia Catalan-Keck. A big tackle in the corner, and the tiny Treadway, just 5'1", taking down Catalan-Keck. It'll be a deep free kick here for Northwestern Ohio.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I mean, it's a good tackle here. Does she get in front? Just a little late. Doesn't quite get the ball. It's a good idea, though, and you're fine. I mean, we'll give up a foul in that corner, right? If you're Marian, you're good to kind of step back in. You're still locked in your half, but I like the effort. If if it goes right, you win a corner. If it goes wrong, that's what happens. It's a win-win. Always looking for those.
Ella Beaton-Hill working it forward. Goes off the back of a defender. Sammy King right there to scoop it up here for the Knights. Jones just gliding forward as pretty much everybody for UNOH drops back in defensive shape.
It's good cover by Parma there. Going to be able to hopefully lock in here. Now, it's interesting because when Marian keeps possession, they want to get what we call big, right? Wide. You see the players with boots on the chalk. Get your feet out here on the line. And what your UNOH is, you're trying to keep them small and keep them compact. So going from large to shrinking in defensively has been kind of tough on UNOH.
Cora Selma reverses course. Off to Kostick. Here's Koger, has been quiet today. Wants a step on Chambers, able to flick it in, punched away, backheeled in, flicked in, and off the bar and in. It took a weird route to get there, but it goes into the back of the net for Marian, and we'll see who they give it to. It might be Sienna Mullen, who is right there to backheel flick that thing from the edge of the box. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Koger does a great job of getting that one last touch to the end line. Looks like Mullen on the backside. Yeah, almost even an own goal there. But, I mean, credit to Koger there. She takes that baby half touch, keeps it in, gives her just enough clearance to rip that ball wide. And, I mean, to be honest, it was Ferns almost there getting out with the touch. And at first I thought she made a great touch clearing it. And Mullen does an excellent job on the backside to keep it alive, plays it back in front of the goal. When that happens, good things happen. Put the ball out there, you never know.
Back-to-back matches with a goal for the sophomore from Fishers, Indiana, Sienna Mullen. Melby was the one defender there for Northwestern Ohio that kind of got a piece of it, and then they just kind of started bouncing around.
Yeah,
just out of the outstretch to Ferns there.
Yeah, Ferns gets a touch on it, and we talk about this in goalkeeping. You either want to hold it, so you want to catch it clean, or you want to, we call parry it or tip it away. So you can either go in with a punch and make sure it's clearing outside of the 18, or you're tipping it over so that Mullen doesn't have a chance there. But when you go in between, falls right to Mullen. She's able to play something in front of the goal. Things happen, boom.
And we've been wondering where Koger was, and she's able to make the stamp here with the go-ahead tally with less than 20 minutes to play here from Ascension St. Vincent Field.
Yeah, and that is, so much more her game there is to take it forward, be aggressive. I love to see her attacking the end line there and whipping it back because that ball goes in a brilliant, dangerous spot right there in front of the net.
Looney, or make it Catalan Keck, takes the spill. As Koger has been subbed out here for the Knights, with Kylie Conrad coming in to replace her up top for Marian for the final 16 minutes and change here today as the Knights try to move to 6-0 here on the year. They lead 2-1.
Again, going to your bench, not really losing much there. Kylie Conrad, the senior from Brownsburg, another experienced option up top for them.
Wart's had a nice match off the bench today. Came in and tried to take it away from UNOH. Played deeper here. Then Jones just makes a smart play and just boots it out of play.
A little bit of friendly fire there. Aaron Kelly got the worst of it.
See Kelly limping a little bit there at the top of your screen. But she'll stay in. So for UNOH, final quarter hour here of this second half, what do you have to do? Try to find another equalizing tally like you did back in the first half.
Yeah, we talked about, how do you win possession back? How do you got to find a way now.
Yeah.
You've got to have the ball to score. So you're going to defend hard. You're not wasting time on the attack. You're going to play direct. You're going to play aggressive. And if you're Marian, you've got to stay in your game, right? You've got to stay patient and not let the hectic way that UNOH is going to play affect you.
Berg Carlson able to work it forward to West, and they challenge Ames, who makes yet another stop, her third one of the day, first of the second half.
Yeah, another save that Ames makes look very simple. Obviously you think Carlson Berg's going to get a little bit more mustard on that, but Ames does a great job shuffling across. Again, holds it, no bobble. That's what you want to see.
Big ball forward from Marian. Loose one scooped up by Grosson. Here for Northwestern Ohio. Drives into the middle and O'Looney. Went out off of the Knights, and so a throw-in here for UNOH. And you can see the haste that Celia Catalan-Keck moving with here, knowing time is not the friend of the Racers here in the second half, down by 1.
Yeah, you're going to see Catalan-Keck get into the attack. You'll probably see some defenders get up in there, especially on restarts and free kicks. They're going to throw everything they have at this to try and get this back to a tie game.
UNOH turns it over quickly, and that allows Marian to burn some more time off the clock. Here their possessive attack, starting with that back line once again.
Yeah, it's funny. You might see teams go to this style when they're up 2 or 3. Marian just plays it all the time, so
yeah.
This is normal for them. They're fine with it.
Conrad, through a bunch of defenders, able to find Palmer. One more defender to beat. Palmer sends it in, deflected down by the trailing Chambers. As that could have been a real dangerous one there, as UNOH almost had an own goal.
Yeah, Chambers redeeming herself there. She was falling asleep, kept Palmer on sides on that ball. Everyone else was up. She's able to recover and make the save there, but someone's got to go with Palmer. She gets up there, puts in the work. Great cross across the 6. No one went with her forward, though.
Ball taken away by Vivian Permanent. Fighting with Sammy King for position. The Racers play to the near side here in West. Right in the middle of the field in Camila Rico.
Now they're going to spring forward here.
West up forward to the captain, Chambers. Northwestern Ohio looking for that equalizing tally. West on the left flank. Her cross blocked. Headed down by Rico. And the Racers will use Chambers to try to hold it in their attacking end. They've not been down here much and have had a lot to try to test Ames with here coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, I thought that combo possession there by UNOH, it shows you kind of how difficult it is that what Marian does all game. You know, we say, oh, it's possession, and people that don't love soccer might say, oh, it's boring, they're just passing the ball back and forth. But no, it's the exactness, the way they keep it, the decisions that are being made every single second when you pass, where you go, which angle. That is all training. That is all subscribing to the same, modus of play. And so you saw there with UNOH, just a footer, not even a foot, 6 inches off on your pass, and you're giving the ball away to Marian now, and they're going back at your goal. So it goes to show that what Marian is doing offensively, possession-wise, is very difficult.
Fought for on the far side, last touched by Svenja Jorg of Northwestern Ohio. So the Marian throw-in will commence after the subs come in. Koger back on the field for Marian, and Risa Nishida back on for UNOH.
Yeah, Parmer might be done for the day, but she has put in quite a shift. I think, they're getting on the same page here as far as those balls forward go. She's going to have to be a little more creative up front, and the midfield and backline's going to have to be a little more creative in getting it forward for her to keep up this level of goal scoring.
Here's Mullen, who scored the go-ahead tally just a few minutes ago for the Knights, and draws the foul as we dip below 11.5 minutes to go here from Marian University. Jones, the tallest player on the field at 6 feet tall. You start standing next to the shortest player on the field, and Marian Coraselma at 5 feet tall during that most recent sub-stoppage.
I just realized that. There's quite a difference, isn't there?
Just slightly.
Yeah, just a bit.
King over to Mullen. Step over. Room to work here. Dumps it into space, but nobody in the Marian colors was home for it.
No, I love that drive by Sienna Miller, though. That's the attacking the defender that I was talking about, that sometimes when you're possessing so much and passing around the outside, you don't always recognize those chances. So I love the decision. One, you're within 20 yards of the goal. You're one-on-one. Take the defender on. If you beat her, you got a shot. Worst case scenario, you lose it out wide. That's okay,
Ames back in space. Keeper's made 3 saves a day. Just one shot, though, for Northwestern Ohio here in the second half, and it came just a couple moments ago. The offense just has not been there here for the Racers coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, it has not been there. You couldn't really even say what the mode of attack is right now. It's almost just trying to thrive off transitions. But credit Marian's defense. Their back line, one, their experience. This is a line that has played together multiple times before. You add Ames in there, not foreign, but didn't play all of last season. And I always say the sign that a keeper has played a great game. Not a lot of shots, right? So you're keeping your back line organized, because UNOH is not a bad team. They've had some opportunities to get forward. But then, not a lot of shots. Your defense isn't letting shots off. But then your saves, you make them look easy, right? I mean, 3 saves looked all very comfortable for Ames. So, through 90 almost minutes, you can kind of see why Coach Sullivan said that she went ahead and took a stranglehold on that keeper position.
Went 5-0-1 last year. Her 5 wins were all shutouts. Only allowed 1 goal. That was to the then #1 team in the country last year when she was a sophomore.
Yeah, and Shea Johnson obviously did a great job for them all season as well. Took them deep into the postseason. But again, it's a good problem to have if you got 2 keepers that you can't pick between, or that you have to split time with. I prefer having that role just for consistency. It lets your defenders know what to expect. The less surprise on game day, the better. It's tough though for keepers as well, but it's part of the job.
8.5 left to go here. Marian, knowing the clock is their buddy here, trying to burn as much clock as they can. Olivia Chambers in Northwestern Ohio, though, trying to find some sort of offense and trying to find that equalizing tally.
And Chambers has been everywhere this game, making defensive plays, making crosses in, taking free kicks. You can see why she wears that captain's armband.
And she knows time is of the essence as she quickly hurries over and tries to get the throw in here. But it's out off of the visitors. And so Mullen will wisely take a little extra time here. Work. A dump off to Conrad. And King goes all the way across the field.
Ooh, into the long jump.
Right into the long jump pit.
Yeah, I liked the movement to get that ball over there. Who is that? Looks like they found Liz Fisher. Yep. On the left side. You'd just like to see, so that run went almost straight towards the end line. You'd like to see her aimed, almost take that diagonal touch towards the goal, right? Sets you up even more for a shot versus if I'm going straight for the end line, I'm pretty much saying I'm only going to cross it.
Can Northwestern Ohio push it forward here with Nishida? She did, but couldn't find any help. As Ames steps out to help out her position, her field players. Groshun. Nishida. Turning and trying to find space is Chambers. Back to West, to the middle of the 18, but an easy clearance there for Kylie Jones.
Risha Nishida was hanging out around that 6 without a defender on there, so good news for Marian not to give up the cross there.
Racer trying to re-engage here once again. And they have just not been able to possess the ball on this end of the field much here in the second half. West looks to create towards the middle. Instead finds the feet of Liz Fisher of Marian. But then Fisher's pass stepped in front of by Kanalan Keck. From distance was Jorg. It was blocked before it could even get there. And a beautiful long slide tackle from Marian Koraselma. Then stepping in and ushering her opponent away was Matilda Burke-Carlson. That's why the whistle blows.
Yeah, going for a tackle in that side of the field, you have got to be sure. And there is not many times that Marian Koraselma is not sure and exact. So you feel pretty good about that. But still, you know, a little bit of dicey times there.
Fisher with some room to work. Up forward to Koger. Christine Melby has been watching her every move all day. McIntosh will come in. You can tell that she did not want to have to play that one out of bounds, knowing that they got to get to the other end of the field, but it was their only option to really have.
Yeah, you know, you can't really find a clearance from there, good option from there. Not often you see a defender just kind of touch it out like that, but in this situation, it's probably going to be the quickest way for them to get the ball back.
Throw to Koger as she and Melby lock up.
Offsides.
Yep, offsides flag in the air, and the clock stops with 4 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in this one.
That is about one of the only ways to defend that, you know, corner. We're going to sit here. We're going to sit on it for the next 5 minutes. Come get us. You either got to foul them, or if they do move it, you step your line up, and it's tight. I mean, you're talking about like a 5-yard space there. So the fact that they can pull off an offsides there is impressive.
Vivian Permanen, senior out of Finland, re-enters for the Racers. So they try to get one last push here and try to find that tying goal. McIntosh over to West. Steps through 2 defenders, now off to Chambers. But the defender was right there. Nice play by Kostick to scoop it up for Marian.
Yeah, she had Chambers there earlier. Probably would have been better for West to play her the first time instead of taking those defenders on, but just had the defender step up to Chambers there.
Out off of who? The Marian bench unhappy as it's off of them, and so Northwestern Ohio, though, will bring in 2 subs, but the clock does not stop since they're trailing here with less than 5 minutes to play. But a pass to nowhere, cleared away by Aaron Kelly. Now Northwestern Ohio trying to get a quick restart here.
And you know these are going to be a hectic final couple minutes, especially if you're going to have to be defending. It's key here for Marian to stay composed. Don't try and do something you're not comfortable with, right? If you're used to possessing out of the back, possess out of the back. Don't change the way you play just because of the circumstances.
Chambers with some turf to operate on. Up to West. Try to get it back to Chambers. It is off its mark. Here's Marie Roman on for the first time today. 4 in black for the final 3:20.
That's good work by Fisher there. That's what you want to see. Just have her defender on her back. She holds the ball up, plays back to a possession pass. Now you can run another minute off the clock.
You see Northwestern Ohio dropping back, trying to force a misstep from the Marian defenders. Less than 3 to go here. The Knights trying to pick up their 6th win in a row to start the year. As Ames just waiting for someone to come and play her. Cora Selma in tight quarters, had her arm tugged, and the whistle blows there, and that'll burn about another 10 to 15 extra seconds off the clock here as Marian Cora Selma sets up for the free kick.
Yeah, like a magician in the midfield there. I mean, that ball popped off her foot. You thought for a second Northern Ohio State or Northwestern Ohio was going to go straight to goal, and she somehow ended up winning that ball back, gets her body in front of the ball, and he gets a foul called.
McIntosh touching it away. But Northwestern Ohio just has not been able to get the ball out of this end of the field here much at all in the second half, as Mullen able to keep it in with some fancy footwork on the sideline. And now Koger tries to camp out on the side here. Northwestern Ohio kicks it out. And with less than 2 to go, the Racers are going to have to really find some magic here. Volleyed into the air. Out once again, and Marian Cora Selma will let one of her teammates and Mullen take this throw as we have almost 90 seconds left to play. Koger gets tangled up with Rico.
Yeah, if you're going to go, you got to go fast.
For the long pass telegraphed, Aaron Kelly steps in front, intercepts. Kanalan Keck. Long ball forward again, off the side of King's right boot. But still some time here for Northwestern Ohio. They played the ball too forward now. Now it's going to burn a couple more seconds off the clock as we approach a minute left to play here.
1 minute remaining in the match.
And again, if you're Marian, you just want to stay composed here. Don't let the craziness affect you.
Permanent towards the middle with 49 seconds left. Back to the near side. Here comes West. Her shot blocked by the foot of Mullen, who comes up a little bit limp. Permanen fighting for it, takes a big spill out of bounds. Last touch by Northwestern Ohio. And Marian more than happy to watch these final 30 seconds just tick away, but there are 2 soccer balls on the field as the clock continues to wind.
How about Sienna Mullen's left foot there? That might have been the save of the game. She looks like she's got an open look from the top of the 18. I mean, shoot, you don't know what's going to happen in that spot. She got some power on it, too. You could see Mullen limping after the contact, but that might have been the best stop we've seen all day.
Yellow card issued to looks like the Northwestern Ohio bench area. Final 15 seconds here. Marian with a deep in their defensive end as the clock starts with 10 seconds left.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
And one final clearance. A 1-1 match at halftime goes the way of the Marian Knights, thanks to Sienna Mullen's second goal in as many matches, and it moves Marian to a perfect 6-0 to start the 2025 year.
Yeah, we see a beautiful afternoon of soccer here. Top 25 matchup, kind of what we expected strategically wise. You know, we knew Marian was going to come in and dominate possession, and any team that comes into St. Vincent Field after this is going to have to expect that. So now the question becomes, for all the other teams in the conference, how do we counter that, right? It's a question they seem to be asking themselves year after year about Marian these days. But how do you counter how do you score goals when you can't keep possession, right? So you've really got to find those transition attacks, and Marian didn't let it happen today. And I think they're going to be a tough team this season.
They are 6-0 on the year, the number 6th ranked team in the country. Special thanks to our great crew today. Director Jordan Chu, replay Kyle Donlin, camera operators Vince Morales, Charlie Hammock, and Dennis Glover. For our fantastic analyst Kristen Hazley, my name is Rick Johnston. Final score from Ascension St. Vincent Field was number 6 Marian 2, number 22 Northwestern Ohio 1. You've been watching Marian Women's College Soccer, the Sports Network. So long from downtown Indianapolis.